let's not fool ourselves here. And let's not have amnesia. When Ronald Reagan came into office, Afghanistan was a poor country. But women went to school. Women went to college. Women worked. Women didn't have to wear their head veils. You could drink alcohol, not that that's some great mark of civilization, but you could sing and dance, which the Taliban outlawed. I mean, the Taliban is really pretty much like the Puritans in many regards. And when the Soviet Union was in Afghanistan, Ronald Reagan in 1983, there's this famous picture of Ronald Reagan in 1983 inviting the Taliban to the White House, to the Oval Office, to sit in the Oval Office with Ronald Reagan and say, yeah, we're gonna kick out those Soviets. And they did. It was a 10-year war that we helped fund. There's a movie about it called Charlie Wilson's War, which is kind of bittersweet and not altogether accurate. But in any case, Reagan brought in 83, created the Mujahideen, or helped fund them. And the big kahuna was, we got Osama bin Laden to participate. He was a multimillionaire, and he brought some of his own money. And Reagan was so happy about that. And we helped them create the source, right? The center, which in Arabic is called Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda. And, to throw the Soviets out. And then after they were done throwing the Soviets out, they, turned their attention elsewhere. They started cutting deals with the Taliban, and, bin Laden tried to come after Saddam Hussein in Iraq. And that was the point at which his own government said, this guy's crazy, and they arrested him and deported him to Somalia, which is where his mother was from. And then he worked his way back to Afghanistan and said, okay, I'm going to set up my training camps and do my thing here. But we created this. And then we re-empower, and then, and he was just like, after the war with the Soviet Union was gone, it was sort of like he lost his purpose. Well, who do I fight now? I just took on one of the second largest power in the world and beat them. And, we provided him with a nice little target by George Bush Sr. having built that Air Force base that Bush Jr. decommissioned in 2005, or at least got the Americans out of, in Saudi Arabia. But we created this thing called Al-Qaeda, and we created this thing called ISIL. And it was part of this experiment by L. Paul Bremer and Donald Rumsfeld, these neoconservative libertarians who genuinely believed. I believe. I don't think that they just sat around and said, hey, let's just do something that's going to cause 500,000 people to die, most of them women and children. I can't. In my wildest dreams, I cannot, or imaginations, I can't imagine even Dick Cheney saying that. I mean, generally speaking, even evil people believe that their motivations are good. Hitler thought he was going to create 1,000 years of peace and a purified German race, which would lead the world, right? I mean, we look at it and say, no, that was wrong, that was evil, look at the cons. But, he was able to sleep at night, apparently. Not toward the end. I mean, taking on an awful lot of methadone. But you get my point. There is almost nobody out there who says, I'm going to do something evil just because I'm evil. There are a few very badly wounded, very crazy people, but the vast majority of people are doing what they think is the best thing. And so Bin Laden, he's like, okay, I'm going to do the thing that's the best for my people. I'm going to take on the United States because I beat the Soviet Union, and the United States is continuing to commit blasphemy by having an Air Force base, the Bin Sultan, whatever it was, Bandar, whatever, Air Force base in Saudi Arabia. And because they're buying oil from Saudi Arabia at $30 a barrel, which is like they're ripping us off. They're stealing our national heritage. And he wanted us to go after him. He wanted, and George W. Bush was the perfect, useful idiot. And, thank God Barack Obama has not fallen into this trap yet, and let's hope that Francois Hollande does not.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-536-2370.
Although Marie Le Pen, the head of the National Front in France, France's right wing is really climbing on.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.